Hi, this is Rip with IMSI Design, and today I'm going to be talking about coordinate systems, specifically entity coordinate systems. So what we have here is three circles, and they all appear to be on the same work plane. Let's say I'm going to switch to a left view, and you don't see something above or below. Everything seems to be one solid line going across, so it looks like everything's on the same work plane. But they are not. All three of these circles, in fact, have different coordinate systems. And we can see this by activating the grid and then selecting with the 2D selector tool. So you can see my selector is in 2D mode. And when I select this circle, I get this warning message. Selecting the object in 2D mode changes the drawing's work plane. Do you want to continue? I'm going to say yes. And since the grid follows the current coordinate system, you can see the grid has shifted slightly. In this it is rotated. So I'm going to select this circle, same warning message, yes to continue, and this one's rotated a little bit differently as well. Then I'm going to select this circle, which just happens to be on the world coordinate system, and the grid looks how you'd expect a grid to look. So there's three things. How do objects end up with different coordinate systems? How do we fix this problem? By giving them all the same coordinate system, and then how do we prevent it from happening in the future? So first off, this is a feature, and there are reasons why you would want to have different coordinate system, have these entities have different coordinate systems and use different coordinate systems in the 2D selector. For instance, if one of these circles was on the face of a cube and I just wanted to move it along that face, it would be very useful to have the coordinate system switch to be that of the 2D object. But that's just one example. For most people, it actually is kind of a huge headache because they do it inadvertently and they go to trim something. They've turned off all the warning messages. They're not using the grid. They go to trim something or join a polyline and they get some error about entities having different coordinate systems. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm just working in 2D. This is crazy. So let's go over kind of how this happens and how to fix it. So how this happens is I'm going to go ahead and draw another circle. And then it happens when you edit an entity, a 2D entity using the 3D selector. So I'm going to switch to the 3D selector. I'm going to rotate this. Now here we go. Editing the selected 2D object in the 3D mode changes the object's work plane. To set the work plane, use the Place on Work Plane option from the Modify menu. So it's basically telling you that it's changing the object's work plane. We use the word work plane and coordinate system kind of interchangeably here. It's a little confusing, albeit. So now I'm going to switch. I'm going to deselect. I'll switch to the 2D select tool. Now when I select it, my grid's shifted again. So what I want to do is I want to switch to the 3D select tool, select all, modify, place on work plane. Now I can switch back to the 2D selector, select any of these entities, and I can do anything with them, and the coordinate system does not change. So one way of preventing this from happening is to, when you're working in 2D, always have the 2D selector on. There's times when I kind of like to use the 3D selector. When I want to move objects left and right, if I want to use all these fancy handles on the 3D selector. So you can do that. You just have to work in safe UCS mode. So if you go to Selector 3D Properties, turn on Safe UCS mode. Now I can move, rotate, move it around, use these nice handles. I can stretch it. Rotate some more. And when I switch to the 2D select tool, everything stays just like it's supposed to be. So to make a long story short, if you use safe UCS, you won't run into any problems with 2D entities. Thank you very much, and be sure to download the latest version of TurboCAD from TurboCAD.com. If you have not purchased, please download the free trial. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.